Okay, all right. The lighting might be a little off today.
Okay.
All right, not in our usual space. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of JT and Liz. I'm your girl, Jasmine T, and this is my co-host,
Liz.
Hey. We are two friends who met abroad while teaching English, but we both live back in the U.S., unfortunately. But we talk about our lives oh my gosh, we talk about our lives abroad all the time, so we thought it'd be pretty cool to talk about it with you. Today's topic, we're talking about scamming. Times we may have gotten scammed abroad, or almost got scammed. And yeah, we're just going to talk about it today and maybe be a little lesson for y'all, a little warning for y'all. So you want to kick us off, Elizabeth, or you want me to go?
You go.
You always say that. I'm going to stop
like
asking
all
you.
The time. I feel like
Huh?
I go all the time.
You don't.
I don't. I'm like, they're tired of listening to my stories first.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So I really just have one big one that you are aware of.
Okay.
And this is the only reason that this is going in the whole like scammed abroad thing is simply because it all took place in a Facebook group for expats. Right. And so I wanted to go to Afro Nation in Portugal, and I actually mentioned it in another video or whatnot in this series. And so, yeah, I was interested in going to Afro Nation in Portugal. Someone had posted in one of the expat groups that I've been in for months that they had the certain level of tickets. This was years ago. So you had like your regular, like your general admission, and then you had like the golden or the VIP or whatever. And that's the one I wanted. Okay, I was still living bougie. So somebody posted that they had these. And I think what was interesting is like I looked in the group. They posted, I think like maybe one or two people liked it or whatnot. And then what I considered my due diligence was like I looked at their profile and I saw their other activity in the group, right? And they were active in the group before. So for me, I was like, okay, well, if this is just a scammer, why would they have been in the group for months? You know what I mean? And so that's just how deep their scam went. It didn't even go that deep. It's just like they just crossed the first line of defense or whatever you call it. So of security. And so long story short, I was like, oh, they've been in the group. They even like posted like a recommendation of like some market or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, bruh, the way it happened, you contact somebody for tickets or whatnot, and the way they got me is like, it was basically like they messed up my email address, and then at the first when it first happened, like once I sent the money via PayPal or whatnot, and this is so many lessons happened, y'all. When I look back, it's just like, okay. Now I know, the sending via business or like purchase goods and services and sending via friends and family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Elizabeth, I can't hear you.
Are you sure?
Oh, I hear you now. Okay, sorry. My bad. But yeah, so sending via friends and family. Yeah, I didn't know the issue of getting a refund if you send it that way. You know what I mean? So that became the whole. If I would have just sent it via like purchases of goods and services or whatnot, I would have ended up getting a refund. But yeah, it was just like I thought that I was doing the due diligence. And so long story short, I ended up once it all went down and it was very clear, like within 48 hours, because the person was still responding like, oh yeah, I see where I messed up your email, let me fix it. Like they were keeping me on the hook or whatnot. And I'm just like, why did we have to do this?
They were putting in that work.
They were not new to it. They were true to it. Listen. And so I ended up hitting up one of the admins of the group, and who I actually met before, like when I had went to Portugal, when I went to Lisbon, and I let her know what happened, and she was just like, number one, sorry that this happened to you. We're actually just gonna stop. Like she deleted the post and said we're gonna just block any sales or resales of that kind, just because like they saw it looked fine to them.
Right.
Yeah. So that was my biggest, and I think it's just like this. When you're traveling, and it's something that I enjoy because it's spontaneous, and we talk about like the instant community or whatnot, but uh, these expat groups are what very very helpful, and you go and you meet these basically strangers, but y'all have this commonality of being in a new place, being from the same place, being in a new place together, and sometimes those can be like special bonds, but then it's also a way for people to take advantage of that as well.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to me. I ended up still going. I bought another ticket.
Got that money.
I had that money. But I'm working on it again. So that would just be the biggest thing that I learned. I just always just buy straight from Ticketmaster or whatever it is. And then like two very small things that I consider scams. This is just a systemic or scam or whatnot, and that's just ATM fees. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So if I see somebody using the ATM abroad, it's just very cringe for me. So I'm like, do you know that there are other avenues? So for me, I always use the Revolut card. If you're not familiar, this is not sponsored by Revolut. I just really enjoy it and I like it. So yeah, definitely look into easier ways to transfer money or withdraw money or whatnot. And then another scam that I noticed when I was actually, and this is my last one, another scam I noticed when I was in Mexico and had been in Mexico City for like maybe 2 or 3 months at that point. And I ended up, some friends from the US were going down to Cabo, and I met them down there, for like vacation or whatever. And to see how how they were charging the tourists in USD. And I'm like, this is still Mexico, right? But how like my friends didn't know any better. They didn't know anything about the exchange rate, and how people were so willing to help. Like, oh yeah, I help you do this, I help you do that. And I'm like, y'all, we can figure this out. We don't have to keep paying for X, Y, and Z. And you could also need to stop paying in USD. Like, so, but they were just like, we're on vacation. This is part of it. We don't really want to have to think. They're the locals. They'll figure everything out for us. And yeah, they were definitely down there. But it was like, it was so easy to do. But I was just like, this is all a scam. So, yeah, that type of stuff. But that's all I got today, man. It's been a weekend.
Well, I only have two. I'll start with the biggest one. I was in, oh my goodness, why is the country slipping my mind? Vietnam. I was in Vietnam, and I had just landed, made it through, all the security and stuff, and was walking out to get a taxi, and I found one. I got inside, and we're driving, and then when we get to my hostel, he's like telling me, so first let me back up. When I'm at the airport, I only exchange like $50 or so. That's usually how I do stuff until I get to where I'm going, because the exchange rate is normally a little bit better, like the deeper you go, like wherever you live or wherever you're visiting. And so I had my money, and so we get to my hostel, and he's telling me the price, and I'm like going through my money, but he sees it a little bit. And then like I'm hesitating because I didn't really study my notes the way I should have. Like just got a review of like everything, like, okay, this is this is that. And so he's like, oh yeah, that one. And I was like, wait, give me a minute. And where we are parked, it's like, it was a lot of traffic, a lot going on. People like in cars trying to get around us, like just really, really busy. And I was starting to feel a little overwhelmed. Like I felt like I was holding up like traffic, and then other people waiting to hop in a taxi. And I was just like, oh, I really don't know. I really don't feel like this might be the right bill, but and it was two bills that looked similar, that one and then another one. And so with everything going on, I gave him the one he was suggesting, and it turned out when I went back to my room that it was the other one, the other
Do
bill.
you remember the difference in amount?
Yeah, it might have been like, it was a lot. It was probably like $50.
Damn,
No, no,
sorry.
no. Could it have been that much? No,
Oh,
it couldn't have been much. Well, it was up there. It was up there because it's
cause
USD like what was this, like 6, 7 years ago in
okay,
Vietnam. So it was up there.
cause you
Like
said you exchanged 50
I think it was
USD.
exchange. It had to be about 50.
Okay, so it
Um,
couldn't have been 50 if that's all you had.
right. But although remember that their currency, you're gonna get more with
Oh, you mean
USD.
50 of their.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
It
Okay.
might have been around there. It was high. I was like, dang.
Gotcha.
It didn't knock me off of my trip because yeah, I'm a budget traveler
You're frugal.
anyway, and I do. And
Yes.
but I was just like, oh man. So I was actually really bummed about that. But then I end up meeting some really cool locals,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of made up for it. It kind of made up for it. Um, because then throughout the trip, I would go get like massages and stuff because they're all really cheap there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but whenever you go, before you even get off the massage table, they're like, tip, tip, tip. Like everyone's trying to get a tip from you. And I'm just like,
We ain't started yet.
I know, I know. Like they're still doing it, like
Mm-hmm.
still working on your back. And they're like, tip.
Mm.
Yeah. And then even when you go to pay, they're like, "Oh, did you tip? Did you tip?" And that happened to me a lot. I got a pedicure, same thing. Massage, same thing. Everywhere I went, it was getting like that. So that coming off of what happened in a taxi, it was just feeling like, yo, everything is like these people are always trying to rip me off. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up meeting some locals when I was at the park, and they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to just practice their English. And that ended up being nice because it was a genuine like conversation, and their English was pretty good. So they really just wanted to have conversation and not
Gotcha.
necessarily. They just wanted to talk with a foreigner, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily like I didn't feel used. You know, sometimes you could feel used for your
Gotcha.
English. I didn't feel like that, so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this kind of
Okay.
makes me feel a little bit better.
You was going through it emotionally. You're like, I don't know
Yeah,
who to trust.
yeah.
It's funny when you say like they're working on your back and they're like tip. You're like you're in the midst of it and they're asking for more money and it's this is gonna sound not quite the same, but I'd rather that. Like recently I went to just get like I had my annual woman's visit. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And so it was my first time going there, like with this insurance. And literally, I'm like in the row back, and
Uh-huh.
of course, the main lady's in there. I think she's like whatever the practitioner, and her assistant walks in, and I'm literally there, and she's just like, "Oh, by the way, you didn't sign the permission to pay or permission to access insurance or whatever." And I'm just like, "Dang, lady, like you could, I'm a pay." I'm exposed right now. So talk about scam. It's just like, yeah, I'm a sign that y'all will be able to bill my insurance when I leave here today.
Right.
Dang, I was
My
just
goodness.
like, I've never experienced that in Poland. Przepraszam, we need your. So yeah, okay. So you got Vietnam getting used left and right, and sorry, another thing I want to mention is that that's apparently like one of the most common scams, like quick cash exchange, and
Yeah.
like you feeling rushed, or maybe they might fumble some money or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He probably parked there on purpose.
mm, gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah. And so another one actually happened in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a small one, but I was in one of the night markets and I was walking around looking and I saw something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something like you eat, something edible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching other people like order, and I'm watching to see how much money they give, what bill they give, and I'm watching to see how much they receive back. So this way I know by the time I go up there what I should be giving. Because it's a night market. Now, like, there's no like signs like, oh, whatever. So when I get up there, she holds up her hand though to tell me how much, but it's more than I saw everybody else paying. And I was like, no.
And you walked away?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, no.
That's real smart to observe, because like if you didn't see anybody, you would have just accepted what she.
Right.
That's okay. That's really
Right,
smart,
so-
Elizabeth. I never thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, you live and you learn.
Yeah. Oh man.
This happened after Vietnam.
Gotcha. Was that when we went to when we were in Taiwan?
No, this might have been my first time going.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because you was hitting that night market up
Oh,
regularly
yeah.
in Taipei. Oh gosh. All right. Listen, you got anything else or?
No, that's all.
Listen, y'all. When I tell you it's been a long weekend, we'll talk about it. We got to catch up. Listen, all right. So let us know what you think of today's episode. If you relate or if you have any scam stories yourself, share. Tell us what you learned. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Elizabeth?
I would still encourage people to get out there and travel. It didn't stop me, and it shouldn't stop you.
It's the lessons in it. You know what I mean?
is.
Like if you weren't gonna get scammed in Vietnam, you would have got scammed in Taiwan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
go ahead and learn, so you'll know
Exactly.
for the future.
Right.
So,
And now I know.
cool.
Now I know. Oh, okay. So
What's
there's
up?
something else, right?
Okay.
That's kind of really.
I'll edit.
Where
What's up?
were we at? We were in Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little after. This is after Vietnam and everything. So I'm a bit more experienced now.
Mm-hmm.
And so going through the night markets, and the night markets, but also like the day markets and stuff. And it's kind of like the same thing is happening where there's really no prices, or you'll ask for a price on something and then you might be looking around and you ask for a price for something else, and like nothing's like really consistent. So I'm getting to a place where I'm like, okay, so I've been to a few of these stores and the price is about this much, so I'm not even asking now. I'm going in my wallet, I'm pulling out some bills, I'm holding up the item and I'm like, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
what
what
they
it
took.
is. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's
Interesting.
what it is. No bag. I already got one. Thank you.
Okay. It's really the transformation, right?
Yes.
So from Vietnam to naive, right? To I run this. You know? That's beautiful. Nice. Beautiful trans.
You said that's beautiful.
I'm tired, Elizabeth. Listen. All right. So that's going to be it for us today. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions below, please let us know. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.